Hey guys, the next book I want to talk about is a book called The Art of Fielding. And when I first saw the title, I assumed it was in the same vein as like Rod Carew's The Art and Science of Hitting or Tony Gwynn's The Art of Hitting. And but this is a fiction story. You see, some books make you want to pick up the glove or pick up the bat, but The Art of Fielding makes you wonder why you picked up the glove or bat in the first place. And I mean that wholly as a compliment, because on the surface, Chad Harbach's novel follows an infielder named Henry Skirmshander. It's a mouthful. He's a brilliant college shortstop, and his whole world unravels after one terrible throw. And if you've never played, you don't quite it's hard to understand the feeling of making a bad throw at the bad time and how devastating that can be. So he ends up getting the onset of what's called the yips in sports or in baseball, softball, which is the sudden, inexplicable loss of the ability to do something really routine. But this story isn't about him slumping. It's really about the psychological paralysis. You see, the yips happen when your conscious mind begins to interfere with your subconscious muscle memory. So little things like turning a fluid, instinctive motion like throwing, it becomes a series of just agonizing and deliberate steps. So for Henry in this book, the mental block becomes the ultimate turning point for his identity crisis. When your entire sense of self is built around being the person who never misses, what happens when you literally can't make the simplest play anymore and all you do is miss? So as a coach, it struck me the hardest. We've all seen athletes who are just fearless and they make impossible plays look real easy. And from the outside, they appear completely confident. And then something happens, bad throw, missed shot, strikeout, what have you. Suddenly the game becomes less about playing and more about just surviving. And Harbach captures that spiral with just an honesty that is incredibly uncomfortable, but for a lot of us, very relatable. It isn't really just a fiction story. It feels like reality. So I've coached athletes who have had every physical tool imaginable, and because they kind of trap themselves in their own minds, their body's still capable, but their mind wouldn't let anything happen. So people see the physical mistakes, right? But it's just hard to see the mental battle that we're going through underneath. So that's why this book stayed with me. It's a reminder that the hardest part of sports, it isn't physical at all. It's believing that you are still enough after you failed. And maybe that's the larger lesson of all of this. Baseball can be something that we love, but the moment it becomes who we are, we've just given it too much power. So one day, every athlete has to play their final game. The healthiest athletes I've ever worked with and coaches weren't the ones who avoided the failure. They were the ones who understood that baseball was just part of who they are. It's not the measure of who they are. And that's what The Art of Fielding explores just beautifully. It isn't a story about perfection. It's about the battle with perfectionism. So through identity and failure and learning that your value as a person is never tied to a stat or a scoreboard. So for me, that's what makes it one of the most honest books ever written about athletes, because the toughest opponent you're ever going to face is the one between your ears. So The Art of Fielding, I think you'll love it.